Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Windu Agustina. In this video, I will share you about simultaneous interpreting. Simultaneous interpreting is the activity of the interpreter has to interpret what the speaker says from source language into target language at the same time as the speaker gives the speech. There should no waiting time or pauses between the interpretation and the receipt of what is being said. In simultaneous interpreting, you have to one of more language in addition your language because just bilingual it is not enough for to be in consecutive or simultaneous interpreting, and you should be able to read a newspaper or something like that, and watching television to get more knowledge and information. Simultaneous interpreting is the hardest among the other kinds of interpreting, and in simultaneous interpreting consists a pair of interpreter. If one of them cannot continue the interpreting, one of them can take over to continue the interpreting. And also, you can do it by yourself, or just one person. Usually, in simultaneous interpreting, the interpreter will be placed in a room in a back away from the audience with facilitate with microphone and headset to facilitate the process of interpreting. Okay, and next there are 5 skills you should have as an interpreter, especially for simultaneous interpreter. The first one is anticipate. Interpreters are essentially doing two things at the same time. They are listening and interpreting. This ability is very useful for simultaneous interpreting. For example, whenever you are listening to someone speak, pay close attention and see if you can predict what they're going to say next. And the second one is keep your brain sharp. Simultaneous interpreting is the hard task, so prepare yourself with an even more difficult task to challenge yourself. For instance, try to listen while you're doing another task, and afterward, try to see how much the the speech you can remember. It may for the first time that is not much, but if you always try and exercise these brain exercises, your skill of simultaneous interpreting will start improve. Okay, next is the third one is understand culture. Every culture has words and phrases that only make sense to people in that culture. That's why this is important to understand language along with its cultural background. And then the fourth is control your voice. When interpreting, it is important your voice in reasonable voice. If it's your voice too low, the audience won't be able to hear your voice. Instead, speak in a manner that makes you comfortable, just as long as you're not speaking too loudly. And the last or the fifth is stay calm. Make sure you don't react to anything the speaker says or doing. That's not your job. Just focus, do your best in interpreting, especially simultaneous interpreting. And if you start to get frustrated, you will either fall behind or start making mistakes. Okay, there are 5 skills you should have to be an interpreter. especially simultaneous interpreter. And now I will give you example one video about simultaneous interpreting. Let's check this out.
The decree
pengelolaan hutan itu diberikan kepada
of
rakyat.
indigenous forest management should be handed over to the indigenous community themselves.
Kemarin telah kita
And
berikan
yesterday we
di
have
Pulang Pisau, di Kabupaten Pulang Pisau,
hand over it
seluas
in
12.000
Pulang Pisau
kita berikan
district,
kepada kelompok-kelompok tani,
around 12,000 acres. We have
dan
handed over
pada hari ini
to the farmer group, and today
SK tentang
another
hutan
decree
adat juga telah
on
pecah
indigenous
telur,
forest
sudah pecah,
recognition
nanti akan berlanjut terus,
have been started for the first time, and hopefully it will be
dan
continued
tentu saja
in the future. And also
dengan SK ini
with this decree of establishment,
masyarakat bisa mengelola selamanya,
we do hope
dan di dalam
that the
peta juga
indigenous
nanti
forest
akan ada penyesuaian.
will manage and maintain their forest
Ada kriteria
forever.
baru,
And in
yaitu
the map
mengenai
there will
hutan
be some
adat.
adjustment,
Ini penting
a
sekali,
new criteria
karena yang ada
to
di kantongan saya
highlight the
sekarang ada
indigenous forest. This is very
12,7
critical
juta,
because today
12,7
in
juta hektar
my
yang
understanding we
akan
have
terus
12.7
kita bagikan,
million acres
tetapi
that we
pada
will
masyarakat,
continue
pada rakyat,
to
pada kelompok tani,
distribute
kepada
to
masyarakat
the indigenous forest, to the farmers
adat,
group,
sehingga
and to the
betul-betul yang
community,
menikmati
the actual community. Therefore,
kekayaan hutan kita adalah
the one who will
rakyat, masyarakat,
benefited
masyarakat
from the
adat.
richness of our forest will be the indigenous forest
Karena
and the local community.
pengakuan hutan adat
Because
bukan
the
hanya berarti kita
recognition
sedang
and the
mengakui
acknowledgement
hak
of indigenous
tradisional
forest,
masyarakat,
not
hukum
only that
adat
we are
yang dilindungi oleh
acknowledge
Undang Dasar
the basic rights of
1945.
indigenous forests that have
Pengakuan
been protected
hutan
by
adat,
the National Constitution
pengakuan hak-hak
1945.
tradisional
The
masyarakat hukum
recognition
adat
of indigenous forest,
berarti
the recognition
adalah
of the
pengakuan
basic rights of the
nilai-nilai
indigenous
asli
community
Indonesia,
means that we
pengakuan
are
jati diri asli
recognizing
bangsa
the
Indonesia.
original value of the Republic of Indonesia, the original identity
ini akan
of
terus
Indonesian
diseleksi,
people. So this will
akan terus
continue to be
disaring,
selected, and this will continue
dan akan terus
to be
diberikan,
filtered
karena yang
and
kita
continue
berikan
to be
saat ini memang
distributed,
pada
because what we have handed over today
hitungan yang masih sangat kecil sekali,
is relatively
karena yang
a
ada di
very
kantongan
small
saya
size,
sekali
because
12,7.
again what I've
Simultaneous interpreting is often used in United Nations and also in presidential speeches. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is useful for us. See you on next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.